World Cup final in Casablanca? The future largest stadium in the world won't be matched by Camp Nou or Bernabéu. But what will FIFA decide? The battle for the final is heating up, and plenty is also happening at other stadiums. Construction, upgrades or planning. The venue for the 2030 World Cup are constantly evolving, bringing them closer to hosting the tournament. Let's dive into the latest update. StadiumDB.com presents World Cup 2030 Stadium Progress, March 2025. Estadio Monumental, capacity 84,567, completion date 2025, Buenos Aires. El Monumental continues modernizing to maintain its status as South America's best stadium. Its largest upgrade is a 360-degree LED screen around the middle stands. El Millonario fans are making the most of the increased capacity, but they are still missing one thing: a roof over the fully exposed stands, which has been out of reach due to lack of funds. There are no signs that this will change anytime soon. As a result, it looks like World Cup matches held there will take place under the open sky. Nuevo Estadio Osvaldo Domínguez Dibb, capacity 46,000, completion date 2029, Asunción. The final selection of the stadium that does not yet exist for the World Cup is controversial. It does not exist literally, as construction has been ongoing for some time and the old facility has been demolished. The project's cost is estimated at $60 million, with $20 million to be provided by CONMEBOL, while the remaining amount will be financed by Club Olympia. Estadio La Cartuja, capacity 71,000, completion date 2025, Seville. Construction work at La Cartuja is progressing according to plan. In the area where the Copa del Rey finalist will play in a few months, workers, excavators, trucks and cranes are operating, with the giant crane standing out near one of the goals. Soil has been excavated to lower the field by about 5 meters, adjusting it to UEFA's requirements. The construction of a new ring of stands is also underway. Estadio Santiago Bernabéu, capacity 78,297, completion date 2025, Madrid. Regarding the battle for the final, Estadio Santiago Bernabéu is the smallest for the 3 stadiums competing to host this match, but it has a crucial ally: Rafael Lozan, president of the Spanish Football Federation. One influential figure is pushing for the final to take place in the Spanish capital, but will that be enough? Madrid is also in shock, as the upcoming NFL game at Bernabéu will require demolishing part of the newly built lower stands and locker rooms. Estadio Nueva Romareda, capacity 43,144, completion date 2027, Zaragoza. In mid-February, work began on Phase 1B, which is significantly more important than the recently completed phase. This phase will involve the construction of the new south stand, the skeleton of which will be visible by the end of the current season in June. Compared to the initially estimated cost, this stage of work will be nearly 14 million euros cheaper. The tender process has also been approved for selecting a consulting firm. Camp Nou, capacity 103,447, completion date 2027, Barcelona. The renovation of Spotify Camp Nou continues to keep Barcelona fans uncertain. In recent weeks, work on the pitch has intensified. The latest photos show the process of digging trenches necessary for laying pipes that will allow the drainage of the field. It is expected that by mid-April, the grass and irrigation system will be fully installed. At the end of February, FC Barcelona obtained approval to work 6 days a week, 24 hours a day. The goal is to be able to host the scheduled El Clásico in May at the renovated stadium. However, there is no guarantee that this will happen. The Camp Nou construction has long taught us not to take anything for granted. Before we head over to Morocco, help us fulfill our goals by subscribing to our channel. Thank you for your support. Grand Stade d'Agadir, capacity 46,000, completion date 2028, Agadir. The surroundings of the Grand Stade d'Agadir are considered problematic in terms of both security and aesthetics. It is worth noting that this zone has not been developed since the stadium's inauguration in October 2013. Recently, tenders were announced for works related to the development of the road infrastructure in 3 separate, non-cumulative parts. Grand Stade de Marrakech, capacity 45,860, completion date 2028, Marrakech. The turf in Marrakech is being replaced and new grass is being laid. Inside the facility, technical infrastructure upgrades are also ongoing, including the installation of equipment using aerial lifts. Outside the stadium, workers are developing public spaces, building pedestrian pathways, parking areas and new entry zones, accompanied by cleanup activities and landscaping. Grand Stade Hassan II, capacity 115,000, completion date 2028, Casablanca. Visually, the construction of what will be the world's largest stadium looks similar to our last update, but the project itself has been making headlines. Tariq Walalou, co-owner of the firm responsible for the design, claims that Grand Stade Hassan II will be a far superior venue compared to Santiago Bernabéu and Camp Nou. According to him, the stadium will represent the latest generation, and unlike its Spanish counterparts located within urban developments, it will create space around itself, facilitating logistics and providing excellent conditions for the World Cup final. Stade Prince Moulay Abdellah, capacity 68,700, completion date 2025, Rabat. At the stadium in Rabat, work is currently underway on assembling the steel roof structure and the building's facade. Construction teams are actively engaged, utilizing heavy cranes, lifts and hoists to transport and precisely position steel elements. The installation of the prefabricated stands, staircases and interior space preparations is also in progress. Simultaneously, earthworks are being carried out, including leveling and preparing the area around the stadium for further development. Grand Stade de Tanger, capacity 75,600, completion date 2025, Tangier. The project in Tangier is entering a critical phase. As a result, the frequency of meeting with officials and partners has increased. The ongoing work includes the VIP areas above the stands and the completion of the lowest stands near the pitch, which have replaced the athletics track. The stadium will also be equipped with modern systems to enhance sound quality, ventilation and lighting throughout the facility. Additionally, the installation of the roof is planned. Stade de Fès, capacity 55,800, completion date 2028, Fès. In Fès, work is ongoing to adapt the stadium for the Africa Cup of Nations. The second phase, after the tournament, will expand the stadium's capacity by 10,000 seats. There were concerns about Stade de Fès possibly being excluded from the 2030 World Cup, but Fouzi Lekçe, president of the Royal Moroccan Football Federation, denied these rumors. It is now time to focus on stadiums whose expansion or construction has not yet begun. Among them is Estadio Centenario, which hosted most of the matches in the 1930 World Cup. 100 years later, it will appear in a renovated version. Currently, preparations are underway for partial demolition. The legendary stadium may even undergo a name change if a sponsor is found. In Spain, we are familiar with the new project for Estadio Gran Canaria, wide, irregular and towering over the urban landscape. This is the winning design named La Nube, the cloud, which will transform Estadio Gran Canaria into a venue worthy of the World Cup and La Liga. The position of Estadio de Riazor in the race for the World Cup remains uncertain. Previously, it was threatened by Balaidos and now by Valencia, where construction on No Mestalla is slowly resuming. The previously mentioned president of the Spanish Football Federation supports Valencia's candidacy. The last stadium where no construction work is currently underway is La Rosaleda in Malaga. where we are still waiting for concrete plans and progress. So far, there are only proposals and some doubts whether preparations for the World Cup will be completed on time. Would you like to see the World Cup final in the biggest stadium in Morocco? Check out the discussion in the comments, and we're already gearing up for our next productions. See you there!